It is Baseball Hall of Famer, Atlanta Brave legend, good friend, Chipper Jones joins the show. Chip, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
Fellas, how we doing?
Doing fantastic, okay, man. Hopefully you're doing well there. How's everything? I mean, you're right kind of in smack dab in the middle of baseball season, so I know you're still going out to games. Hopefully everything's going well your way.
Yeah, chasing these boys around and got, 7 of them I got to keep track of. Got a couple at Auburn, got one coaching, got a couple, still playing the game a little bit here right at the beginning of the summer. But hopefully that's about to end and we can get a little lake and beach time in.
Hey, I didn't know you had a couple at Auburn there because, look, I mean, you and I and our friendship started back when y'all were playing the Padres. I was playing for the Chargers, and I had on my LSU colors. And obviously, you were rooting for the Gators. You gave me a hard time, which any good SEC fan should. I didn't know that. I mean, you crossed the picket lines, and you got some at Auburn.
Well, I mean, I go. They got to go where they're accepted. You know what I mean? I'm not hating on anybody that'll take those two and try and educate them a little bit. So they're not playing any sports. They're in the frat life and chasing some girls around. So I'm just glad they are pointed in one direction and focused on that direction right now.
There's no doubt about it, man. I was actually thinking about you over the weekend, and that's why I reached out to you. I was watching Stetson, the Hatters, play baseball, and I know obviously you and your family, y'all have a history with that program. You've had son that has played for the program, and man, I was rooting hard for him, Chip. I thought they were going to find a way. They had a hell of a baseball season, 41-22 on the year. They beat some Giants, and man, they're gritty. They're a gritty baseball team.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch them come regional time. The one thing about Stetson is 1 through 9. They can play with anybody, It's just that once they get to their second, third, fourth line pitchers and their bench guys and whatnot, there's kind of a drop off that bigger Division I schools don't really have. So I mean, they bolster wins against Florida and Miami and Florida State. They play against all those guys. Actually, it was funny. The pitching coach for NC State is a Stetson alum and played for my dad while he was at Stetson. So I asked him who he was going to be rooting for this weekend, even though he's the pitching coach for NC State. So it was had a lot of interest in those games down there, and they made a good showing. Beat NC State the first game, but then Auburn and NC State got them.
Yeah, and you mentioned them being able 1 through 9, and you're right, and that's really like college baseball now. And look, it's always baseball is a game where anybody can lose any given day. Certainly, we know that. But now with the transfer portal, it's not just for the Giants. Like the Giants get really good players from smaller leagues, but also like players that maybe signed with some of those Giants, and maybe they didn't get the playing time that they wanted. A team like Stetson now is kind of benefiting from those players coming down to them. And you're right, like the depth might not be there, but if you just go 1 through 9, a team like Stetson, we saw it all weekend, Chipper. I mean, four seeds won on opening day alone.
Yeah, it was really kind of fun to watch. You look at the right states and the Eastern Carolinas. I mean, they're beating some of the top notch teams in college baseball. So it was a really fun, competitive a weekend to watch college baseball. In all of this, and I'm sure you're seeing this on the college football side as well, you really feel for the 18-year-old senior coming out of high school because they don't really want to sign those guys and develop them. They want instant help, like you said, from some of these smaller colleges where they can just get the transfers in, plug them into a hole that they have, need that they have on their ball club, and here we go.
Yeah, Chipper, and talking about young baseball players, I was doing some reading, and I know you've done a little bit of coaching, a little bit of mentoring, but I did read that you are signed up to be the manager of an All-Star Futures game. Is that right?
Yes. Yep, I sure am, for the National League.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit of how that came to be?
I got to know the strategy. I mean, yeah. What do you, are we sending everybody? Are we stealing everybody? What are we doing?
The strategy is pretty simple, Jake. It's stay the hell out of the way. You know, I mean, these kids, they get this one opportunity to strut their stuff on probably the biggest stage that they've ever played on up until this point. And I think it's important for us to give them every opportunity to kind of, you know, strut what they got.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not putting any reins on them. If they want to steal, roll out. You know, if they want to,
let's go.
You know, I may, you know, Marquise Grissom, who's the manager of the American League team, and I were teammates. So, you know, if it's close, you know, we got a 3-0 count, I may throw the take sign on somebody or, you know, whatnot. But for the most part, we're going to let these guys swing it and run and pitch. And the only constraints that I have as a manager in this type of situation is from the pitching side, I need parameters from each and every organization so that we don't overwork one of their guys. You know, if the pitch limit is 20, they're not throwing 21, you know? So that's really the only constrictions we have as managers.
Oh, man, you throw that name out there, Grissom going to be on the other side. And Flynn and I were talking about it beforehand and the old Superstation and TBS. And I'm sure you get that, you know, those questions a lot because you grew up in like as a baseball player in everybody's homes as we were growing up, right? And so many different people.
Teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, so many different people got a chance to see y'all's great Brave teams. I mean, look, a kid from Louisiana like me became a Braves fan because of TBS, and that's way before you could get every single game, you know, across the country on all these different networks there. So it's something that had to be, you know, a pretty cool blessing, the fact that you knew like every night when nobody else was playing on national TV, every time y'all went out there, y'all had the chance to get, you know, be seen from Montana to Georgia, from New York to Arizona. Like it didn't matter. The Braves were going to be on the TV.
Yeah, it's really something you don't think about when you're playing, and it really kind of hit home for me. I was actually in the supermarket, and I'm walking down the aisle, and this probably 70, 75-year-old man, he comes up, he taps me on the shoulder, and he says, "I just want to thank you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, what'd I do?" You know? And he's like, you were in our home, whether it was in front of the dining room table or in front of the coffee table in the living room or on the radio in my truck. You've been a part of my family for the last 20, 25 years. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the entertainment that you've given us through the years. And it never really hit me until you could see the honesty in his eyes. And I was like, dang, you know, I'm sure that's pretty universal through Braves country, and really thankful that I got that opportunity. And hey, I was Plan B for the Braves in 1990, and old Plan B kind of worked out.
Yeah, I'd say that worked out pretty well. I mean, to the TBS point, like I was a professional football player, right? And I played on the West Coast, and like I was like, man, we get done at like 5. The Braves are East Coast. They're gonna be like well into like the second, third inning. By the time I get home, I'm gonna get a chance to get home, get a little bite to eat. Braves are already on. It was like utopia.
All right, Chipper, we are here in the kind of the sportsman's paradise down here. So I kind of want to take it from TBS to a different channel, the Sportsman Channel. You've had a long time show, Major League Bow Hunter. How involved are you in that still? I know the show's kind of like grown legs, and there's a lot of people on it. How involved are you in that? I know you said you got a bunch of kids you're chasing right now, so I'm sure that limits the time that you get to spend in the woods.
Yeah, I make time for the woods. That's kind of my hey, I get to recharge my batteries kind of opportunity. But I started off with Buck Commander, kind of the spinoff from Duck Commander, and rolled right into Major League Bow Hunter. I've actually been out of Major League Bow Hunter for the last couple of years. Been kind of helping out with Tyler Jordan down there at Realtree Outdoors and Realtree Road Trips. So still got my foot in the door a little bit. 53 years old now, so I don't cherish climbing 25 feet up a tree anymore. I don't cherish a mile-in walk to get somewhere that I need to be. So I'm not as serious, but we still get a little footage done. I got a crew of about 4 or 5 guys, camera guys, and other guys that I hunt with that we, go all through the Midwest and try to get some pretty big deer footage. So still pretty active, and all the kids got bows, man. I got freaking deer, fake deer and targets set up all over my yard, so they're shooting at everything.
Here's a real question that Louisiana people want to know. So you've probably done bow hunts all over the place that most hunters would dream of, but have you ever been down to Louisiana in the marshes and gone bow fishing?
I have not, but I'll tell you how redneck my wife is. She has been gator hunting in Louisiana, and I have not. So she has actually done the deed, down there, not with a bow, but I certainly, it's something that I've always wanted to, but I just haven't gotten the opportunity. I've been saying I'm going to come to Death Valley and tailgate with Hester for years and years. But I was going to ask you guys, how'd that football game go this?
I've been waiting. I mean, we're 12 minutes in, Chip. I've been waiting
for
that. It didn't go well, okay? The Gators kept the Tigers out of the SEC championship game. And look, it's been so long since you've been able to do this. I'm just going to allow it,
It has been a very, very long time. And I'm going to take this opportunity to gloat. Not only that, the national championship basketball team.
That's true.
What a run they had. Licking my wounds a little bit with Florida's loss yesterday to Eastern Carolina, but still riding out high, man. You win them natties in one of the big three. You got to ride it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I actually caught up with Todd Golden last week down in Destin, and I don't think that's going to be the last one that Florida wins. I mean, he is a hell of a basketball coach, young guy too. He was a great player at St. Mary's. So yeah, the Gator football program got one on us. The basketball program's in great hands. But hey, they have to come to Death Valley this year. And again, I do it every time we talk. Yeah. Open invite. I mean, you and the whole crew. Look, I got 5 kids, so I know what it means to roll deep. Yeah. You can bring the kiddos as well. We'll get you all set up and ready to go. I mean, the door is open. We'll set the Gator hunt up as well, too.
Well, if I bring all of mine and you have all of yours, we're going to have to rent out a Motel 6 somewhere close, to make sure we got beds for everybody.
Need a cruise ship.
Again, I'm telling you, man, we will find a way to get it all taken care of. You just got to come down here. Because if you come down here, man, you're going to fall in love with it, and we're going to get a little bit of that Gator love out of your heart.
Bow fishing's about one of the most addicting, most fun things you can do. It's incredible.
Hey, I will say this. I want to give a shout-out to the LSU crowd, because when they came to so I had a full-time nanny, and she's from Louisiana. Yeah. And she was like, we have to go to the tailgate before the Georgia LSU game, I believe, for the SEC championship. Yeah. It was the year Burrow and all those guys were there. And I went down there, and I have never had so much fun. I didn't even go to the game. I went for the tailgate. And I had so much fun. I met so many cool people, and I was freaking stuffed at the end of the day.
Oh, there's no question about that, man. And I'm looking forward to SEC football as well. And it is always funny because you do follow Florida and you follow the entire SEC. But I've actually seen you have to defend your Florida fandom because Georgia fans. And I know you got love for Georgia too, but you being right there in Atlanta, man, I know you get that all the time. Like, what about Kirby and the Dogs? You can't be loving Florida.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Coach Curb. Yeah, he's I see him a few times a year, and I'm like, man, you got another 5-star quarterback coming in. He's all giggly, he's such a good dude, and he runs such a great program. All of my buddies here, I'm the only one that's the Florida guy here. So it's all Georgia all the time. I will say this, I pull for Georgia quite a bit. Yeah, I think you have to, when you have roots as deep as I do here in the Atlanta area, you need to pull for Georgia Tech and Georgia and all the other pro teams here in the state and be loyal to them. So when they play Florida, obviously my roots take hold, but
Yep.
you know, golly, Georgia's got a juggernaut here, and then a little bit disappointing last year, but I think they'll be back.
Yeah. I know it is crazy. Like, and you're right. Like, again, like I was down in Destin with all the SEC coaches, and like people were talking about, yeah, a little disappointing for Georgia. And I was sitting there thinking, man, what a standard that Kirby has built down there.
Yeah.
That a college football playoff loss after winning the SEC championship is a little disappointing.
Well, and you saw it right at the end of Mark Richt's tenure here in Georgia. You know, 10-2, 11-2, 10-3 wasn't good enough. You
Right.
know, and that's why, you know, Coach Kirby's here now. He's instilled kind of, I mean, I can kind of relate from the standpoint of us as Braves fans.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if we won the division or not. It only mattered how far we went in the postseason. And I feel like
Right.
Coach Smart has instilled, kind of spoiled that crowd as well. As, you know, it doesn't matter if they win the Eastern Division. It only matters if they win the SEC championship and how far they go,
Right.
you know, after that, which is it's a pretty high standard, but I kind of like trying to live up to those high standards.
Yep, no question about it. All right, Chipper, you're the man. We always appreciate the time. Again, y'all hit him up on social media. Shame him into actually coming to Death Valley. We've been talking about this for like a decade now. He's got to come. He's got to experience Death Valley. You know, Florida's probably going to be a night game. And so, Chipper, we're going to get you here. This year is the year. We're going to make it happen. I'll take care of everything. You just let me know.
Fellas, enjoyed it. Y'all be good, okay?